Welcome back to Deer Gear. With deer season winding down for me this past year, I had an opportunity to go visit a new ranch that had some tremendous food plots on it. I'm going to take advantage of this time and set up on one and see what might show up.
The food plots is a big key this time of year. You know, the deer are kind of run down. We're hunting late season. You know, typically don't hunt this time of year, and right now they're just hammering on the food plots. All them bucks have been rutting for the last month or two. So the number one source right now is food, and right now they're just hammering the food plots.
You know, the scenario that we're dealing with is a late season hunt here, and in a late season, you know, any available food source is going to be an opportunity for a hunter, and it doesn't matter what state, what location that you're hunting at, because by the time you roll into that December, January, even into February in the state of Texas, where you can hunt to the last day of February, the food sources are going to be pretty stressed out, and the deer are going to be concentrated around them. And that's why the food plots and leftover fields that a farmer may have cultivated are so key in providing hunting opportunities. And this property that we're hunting on right now has a tremendous amount of food plots to give you those late season opportunities.
The terrain and the maintenance that is done on this ranch to the food plots, everything is first class on this ranch.
When you start looking at how to set up and hunt a big food plot or a cultivated field or even just a big field for that matter that hadn't even been planted, you've got to pay attention to a lot of different things to figure out where to set up. Obviously cover and putting yourself in a position where you have an opportunity to see a big deer or two things that really pop into mind. But on the flip side of that, you've also got to be paying attention to the negatives that can go with any setup. What's the wind direction going to be for any particular day? What's the sun going to be? You know, how big the field is in comparison to what you're shooting. And in the situation we were in on this particular field, we got a little insight that there's some big deer coming in from a couple of different areas. But what I really wasn't prepared for was how much the topography change through the field was.
I can't get a shot right now. The sun's coming up and the majority of the deer are left. There's two good shooters out there, but all I can see is the tops of their back. I need to be about 3 or 4 feet higher. That's why tree blinds or tree stands and ladder stands are so key. But, you know, I'm just hunting late season on a food plot. I have to sit on the ground. There's no way for me to get a shot. There's just enough dip in the hill. You got such a short window on a food plot in the morning.
My choice in setup kind of came back to haunt me on this hunt here. I set up under big oak mott's, great cover, but I needed to be elevated 10 or 12 feet, and I would have killed a giant deer. There's a tremendous amount of deer on this property, so it wasn't for the lack of deer that I ran into on this hunt. It's really for the lack of being better prepared for me personally on where these deer were.
This ranch has been under a deer management program for 8 years. You can really tell the way that the deer have taken off here in the last couple years. And you've got to let those younger deer grow to the age in order to reach their full maturity. You're going to see a lot of deer, you're going to see a lot of middle-aged deer, and you're going to see a lot of older deer. And that's something in the deer population, that's what you've got to have. This ranch has every type of deer you could possibly want. Small deer, big deer, management deer. This deer has been under a strict deer management program for 8 years now, and you can really tell that it works on this ranch.
It's over now. It's over. All the deer just busted out of the field. You've got such a short window in the mornings. Not a food plot, but there's just enough lip two times in a row. I couldn't get a shot sitting on the ground. I need to hang a tree stand. Maybe I'll do that today. Middle of the day. I hated to do it last night. Bust these deer out here because I figured they slept here and probably not even need to sit any longer. Food plots just don't pay out in the middle of the day.
We'll revisit this hunt later on this year on Yamaha's Whitetail Diaries to see if I get a shot or not. But until then, if you'd like more information on this hunt, I've got their contact information up on the bottom of the screen.